America's history is often told through grand monuments, famous presidents, and well-known events. But beneath this familiar story lies another America, one that remains hidden, unexplored, and often intentionally forgotten. Beyond the landmarks printed in textbooks and shown in documentaries, there are places where decisions were made in silence. Experiments were carried out away from public eyes, and entire communities were erased from memory. These hidden locations are not myths or legends. They are real places that played a powerful role in shaping the nation's past. Some were buried underground for national security. Some were removed from maps to avoid responsibility. And others were ignored because their stories were too uncomfortable to face. Exploring these forgotten sites allows us to understand history in a deeper and more honest way, revealing how fear, power, secrecy, and survival influenced America's journey. In TSB Thale, we will uncover 5 hidden places from American history that expose the untold truths behind the nation we think we know. Hidden beneath the peaceful hills of West Virginia lies one of the most astonishing secrets in American history. At first glance, the Greenbrier appears to be nothing more than a luxurious resort hotel, known for hosting presidents, diplomats, and wealthy guests. For decades, visitors checked in without ever realizing that just a few feet below their rooms existed a massive underground bunker built for one purpose only: to protect the United States government in case of nuclear war. During the height of the Cold War, when tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union were at their peak, the threat of a nuclear attack felt real and immediate. In response, the U.S. government secretly constructed this bunker in the late 1950s as a hidden emergency shelter for Congress. The plan was chilling but simple. If Washington, D.C. were destroyed, lawmakers would be rushed here to continue governing the country from underground. The bunker was designed like a small, self-contained city. It included sleeping quarters, medical facilities, food storage, power generators, and even a fully equipped broadcast studio to address the nation. Perhaps most unsettling was a hidden chamber designed to function as a temporary Congress hall, allowing democracy to survive even after catastrophe. For over 30 years, the bunker remained operational and perfectly maintained. A small group of hotel employees unknowingly played a role in preserving the secret, trained under the cover of routine hotel maintenance. The truth stayed buried until 1992, when a media investigation finally exposed the bunker to the public. Today, the Greenbrier bunker stands as a powerful reminder of an era ruled by fear and secrecy, proof that during some moments in history, America prepared not just for war, but for the end of the world itself. At the eastern tip of Long Island, New York, stands an abandoned military base known as Camp Hero, a place surrounded by silence, secrecy, and unanswered questions. Officially, Camp Hero was built during World War II as a coastal defense station to protect America from enemy submarines. Massive radar towers and concrete bunkers still stand as reminders of its military past. But according to many researchers and locals, Camp Hero's real story begins after the war ended. As the Cold War intensified, Camp Hero was reportedly repurposed for classified research. Declassified documents confirm that the U.S. military conducted radar and communication experiments at the site. However, rumors and eyewitness accounts suggest something far more disturbing may have taken place beneath the surface. Locals reported strange electrical disturbances, sudden power outages, and unusual health effects, including memory loss and disorientation. Camp Hero became closely associated with what later came to be known as the Montauk Project, an alleged series of secret experiments involving psychological warfare, behavioral control, and electromagnetic signals. Some theories claim these experiments were aimed at understanding how the human mind could be influenced or disrupted on extremely sensitive subject during an era when controlling information was considered a weapon. Large underground tunnels still exist at the site, many of them sealed and inaccessible to the public. The government has never fully explained what research occurred inside these facilities, leaving gaps that continue to fuel speculation and debate. Today, Camp Hero is part of a public park, yet much of its infrastructure remains untouched, frozen in time. Whether viewed as a center of advanced military research or a symbol of unchecked secrecy, Camp Hero represents a hidden chapter of American history, one that reminds us how fear of enemies can sometimes push nations to cross invisible boundaries in the name of security. In the heart of Pennsylvania lies one of the most haunting hidden places in American history at Tuntati's, still burning beneath the surface. Centralia was once a typical working-class mining town, filled with homes, churches, schools, and generations of families who depended on coal for their livelihood. Nothing about the town suggested that it would one day become nearly erased from existence. In 1962, a routine trash-burning operation near an old coal mine went horribly wrong. The fire spread into the underground coal seams, igniting a blaze that officials believed could be extinguished quickly. They were wrong. The fire moved silently through the tunnels beneath Centralia, releasing toxic gases and causing the ground above to crack and collapse without warning. Over the years, carbon monoxide levels rose to deadly heights. Sinkholes opened in streets and backyards. Smoke drifted from cracks in the earth, creating an eerie landscape that felt more like a disaster zone than a town. Despite multiple failed attempts to stop the fire, authorities eventually accepted the truth a fire could burn for hundreds of years. By the 1980s, the government declared Centralia unsafe and began relocating residents. Homes were demolished, streets were removed, and the town's zip code was officially eliminated. Yet a small number of residents refused to leave, choosing to remain in the place they called home, even as the ground beneath them continued to burn. Today, Centralia stands as a powerful symbol of human error and consequence. It is a reminder that some disasters do not explode in a single moment. They smolder quietly, reshaping history one forgotten place at a time. In the quiet countryside of Elbert County, Georgia, stood a monument shrouded in mystery and controversy. The Georgia Guide, erected in 1980, the towering granite slabs appeared almost overnight, with no public explanation of who commissioned them or why. Unlike traditional monuments celebrating heroes or historic events, the Guidestones offered instructions for humanity, etched in 8 modern languages, along with a shorter message in 4 ancient scripts. The messages themselves were unusual, even unsettling. They called for population control, environmental preservation, and the establishment of a global governance system. Phrases like maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature sparked debate, conspiracy theories, and fascination across the world. Some saw the stones as a warning for a future apocalypse, others as a manifesto of a secret elite, and still others dismissed them as simply cryptic art. Despite its remote location, the Guidestones became a pilgrimage site for curious visitors and conspiracy enthusiasts. For decades, no one knew the identity of the donors or the true purpose behind the monument. Even researchers who tried to uncover its origin hit dead ends, leaving the mystery intact. In 2022, the monument was mysteriously destroyed, leaving behind only fragments and unanswered questions. Today, the Georgia Guidestones serve as a chilling reminder that history doesn't always preserve the past in textbooks or museums. Sometimes it hides its most provocative messages in plain sight, challenging us to question what we accept as truth and what secrets may lie just out of reach. During World War II, fear and suspicion reshaped the lives of thousands of American citizens in a way few history books fully explore. Manzanar, located in the remote deserts of California, was one of 10 internment camps where over 120,000 Japanese Americans were forcibly relocated after the attack on Pearl Harbor. These were not enemy combatants, they were ordinary families, American citizens uprooted solely because of their ancestry. The conditions at Manzanar were harsh. Families were confined behind barbed wire and armed guards, living in cramped barracks with little privacy. Summers were blistering, winters bitterly cold, and food supplies were minimal. Schools, workplaces, and daily routines were reorganized under strict military oversight, yet life went on as best it could. Despite these hardships, internees built communities, held cultural events, and maintained a sense of resilience amid injustice. For decades, the story of Manzanar was barely mentioned in mainstream history. It was a shameful chapter quietly tucked away, hidden behind the narrative of wartime patriotism. Visiting Manzanar today, one sees a preserved cemetery, guard towers, and a visitor center that honors the memories of those who lived there. Manzanar stands as a stark reminder that history is not only about victories and progress, it is also about mistakes, fear, and the consequences of prejudice. Remembering places like Manzanar is essential because forgetting them risks repeating the same injustice. It is a hidden piece of American history that challenges us to confront the uncomfortable truths of the past. History is often remembered through grand monuments, celebrated victories, and well-known figures. But the truth is far more complex. Hidden places like the Greenbrier Bunker, Camp Hero, Centralia, the Georgia Guide, and Manzanar reveal the parts of America that were kept in the shadows, places shaped by fear, secrecy, survival, and sometimes human error. These locations remind us that history is not only about what we are proud of, but also about what we have tried to forget. They challenge us to look deeper, to question the narratives we take for granted, and to acknowledge the stories that never made it into textbooks. By exploring these forgotten sites, we gain a more honest and complete understanding of the nation's past. History, after all, is not just a collection of events. It is a living story, full of secrets waiting to be uncovered, lessons waiting to be learned, and truths that demand to be remembered.